Hi, welcome back to Shawnee Hill's Workshop. Well, as I've been working on putting my everyday carry kit together to go in my truck, I've decided to make a change to my jumper cable setup. Now, if you remember in my past video with the dump trailer when I was installing the winch in it, I showed you a connection I was using there that I could use a quick connect to be able to plug into the battery of the dump trailer or of the vehicle. Well, I've decided to add one of those connectors to my truck as well. So this will stay permanently connected to the battery. I can route it out to where the plug is sticking in the grill so I can easily attach to it, or I can just leave it coiled up inside the hood, and when I pop the hood, have easy access to grab it out and plug in my jumper cables. This is the set of jumper cables that I have with the winch, and my original plan was to plug it into the winch and then hook the other end onto the batteries. But what I've decided to do instead was add another Anderson plug onto this end, so I'll cut off the clamps and have two Anderson plugs so I can plug one into the winch and one end directly into the battery. I've then bought another set of traditional jumper cables and will add an Anderson plug to them. Now you may be wondering why I don't just buy another set of these jumper cables that already have the jumper cable end on it and the Anderson on the other end, and it's because they're blue. I know it shouldn't matter, but I like the red and black wires. I like if I'm helping somebody else jumpstart their car and they're plugging into the battery, and even though the clamps are red and black, I don't want there to be a mistake because they're not seeing the red and black everywhere. I really like, it's kind of like a first aid kit that is in a red bag. I like that. I want to look at it right away and know that's first aid kit. You know, sometime when you're in a high stress situation, you can do dumb things even when you normally wouldn't, and this just takes as much of the factor out of it. So today I'm going to show you how to solder on the fittings the right way onto this heavy gauge wire. And that's something I actually want to talk about. When looking for jumper cables, if you drive a small car, little 4-cylinder engine, more than likely small jumper cables are fine. But if you drive a vehicle of any size, an engine of any size, you're going to want a heavy gauge, 0 or 1 gauge at the smallest jumper cables. And you're also going to want 20 or 25 feet. All right, now it's always important to do a dry test fit before you actually start putting solder in. So it's sliding in there pretty good. I don't know if this is the best way to do this or not, but this is how I was taught and it's always worked for me. It's worked well. So if you know of a better way, feel free to share it. You know, like I said, this is just what I know. I'm going to take some flux, put down in here. Now, the solder I'm using has flux in it, but I don't figure there's anything wrong with putting a little bit extra on there. Some on my wires too. This just helps get the wire really good and clean and give you a really good connection. Really let the solder suck up in there. So now this is a huge joint, and this is very little solder. So it's going to take a ton to fill that in. You can you know, wad it up on the end to get it started, but you're going to want to fill this thing up almost all the way. So I'm going to start heating this up and we'll see what we can get some solder melted in there. Now I'm going to melt the flux on the tip of the wire there. And I'm going to try to get them both good and warm. I want the wire warm and the terminal warm. And we'll just hold it there, let it get solid. All right, then we've also got these little dust caps that go on. You stretch them around like this. It was a little too dark last night to show you how it was all finished up, so I'll show you now. So here we go. We need to jump start somebody. All we've got to do is pop the hood and pull out the coil. Now I have my battery lead just coiled up and tucked into the strap of the battery. And I've done that because I may need to stretch it out forward, or for winching, I actually needed to go backwards and I need that extra length. So I didn't want to have it confined to being in the front of the bumper, but you could very easily wire it down and have a bracket to where you have it coming out of the bumper. You don't have to pop the hood that way. Open up my cables and go ahead and connect the black and red terminal to the battery of the vehicle you're trying to jump. And then after you've got them connected, you simply pull the covers off and plug them together. And there you go. Couldn't be easier. Some people might say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I agree to some extent. You know, for most people, just having a set of jumper cables is more than enough. You don't need something permanently attached to your battery. For me, the winch was the main reason for this, because I am going to be constantly using the winch and I'm going to run it to the battery of my vehicle. It's just that much easier for me to be able to plug and unplug. And since I've already got it, I might as well make the jumper cables as well. If your situation is different, this might not make sense for you. But if you're just the kind of person that likes to be prepared and want to be a good Samaritan and help other people, having that plug right there at your grill can be so much easier to pull up to somebody and just plug in and go and, you know, get it taken care of. Well, like I always say, if you like these kind of videos, hit that thumbs up button. If you don't like these kind of videos, hit the thumbs down button. Just leave me a comment and tell me why, either way. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you. Hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to get notified every time I put out a new video, click that bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.